How's it going? It's Ogre on the 2J podcast. My co-host tonight is going to be Cruz from Inland Supras. Jared had to work tonight. He kind of got called in, so I called my buddy that runs Inland Supras with me, and he's going to come be a guest tonight. Say what's up, Cruz.
What's up, people?
All right, so check it out. We met back in like 2019, something like that.
2020, probably.
Something like that. At Civ, if you watch the podcast, you guys know Civ is Supras in Vegas. Large super meet, probably in the world. Take us back, man. What was it that like literally brought you out to Supras in Vegas?
I just heard about it many times. Even, when I got in my Supra, one of my cousins was like, he told me about it, but at that time the Supra wasn't running. I used to have a 86.5, which a lot of people call it an 87, but in reality it has its name, 86.5. So he was telling me about it, and I was like, okay, probably next year when car's running, we'll hit it up. So I didn't officially go until I saw people that I knew that actually were going and posting, and I was like, oh shit, that looks like fun. Let me go. Let me see what's up. And by that time, I already had a second Supra, which was an 88 with the 2J GE swapped already.
So, funny story about that one. You actually bought it off a guy we have in common before we even met. It was our buddy Dirt Dan. He sold it to you, and I had never met you before. But I remember your 86 and a half because we found out later on after we met and started talking that he actually lived like 4 or 5 houses down from me. And I seen him drive up and down my street. I'm like, oh, hey, there's a Supra, but never once did I think, oh, let me go talk to this guy. And then we met at Supras in Vegas, and I mean, like I said, like you had that big ass wing on it. It looks like makes it look like a shopping cart.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing. I like the wing. It's unique. You and your cousin have it.
The funny thing is that I always looked up to my cousins because they used to have Supras, and I'm like, I remember when I said I was 13 or 14 when one of my cousins, I was upstairs and I heard his turbo go out like doo-doo-doo. So I went out to the bottom and I'm like, oh, what's up? What is this? It looks nice. I like the car. He had a 1J all blacked out primer or mate or whatever you want to call it, Supra. I was like, so my dad was there and I was like, hey, I want this car. My dad was like joking around with him like, hey, how much you want? And he was like, oh, it's not for sale. I barely got it. I barely did the swap and everything. But yes, I think I was 13 or 14 when I fell in love with it.
So, okay, we're both MK3 guys. We both have, if for you that don't know, we do the years by mark, like Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4. Now we have the A90, which is the Mark 5, BMW. When we say like MK3 or MK4 or anything, so most of, it's a Mark 4. A Mark 4 Supra is the most common one everybody knows because of the
Paul
Fast
Walker.
and the Furious, Paul Walker.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. Probably was one of the reasons why I got into it too. But so we have the year before that. It's an MK3 Mark 3. The years are 86 and a half through 92. And I like those years. They're nice. They're
To be honest, from my opinion, is the best car with the best body kits to it. Like it has, it's linear. Like when you see it, you know what it is. I mean, most of the people that don't know, they're like, "Oh, it's a 240." I'm like, "Nah, homie, you're tripping. This is a Toyota Supra." And they're like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, look at the badge. Look at the detail on it. Like, I don't know, hands down, I think the Mark III is the best looking one besides the Mark II, which I actually wanted one too. But I mean, the Mark III, I mean, it just has better figure than most of the other Supras.
I enjoy my Mark III. I'm a little big for the Mark III. Height wise, I do have, like on my first Mark III, I had to build lowering brackets to lower the seat a little bit. This one I just kind of put up with it. My head kind of hits the roof, but I got great gray interior in this one. So, I mean, and when the summer comes, I'll just take the targa off and just pop half my head out out of the roof, you know. But no, I mean, everybody, you know, they hear Supra, the first thing they think of is the Paul Walker Supra, the Mark IV. But for us guys, we have how can I say this gently? Being broke, Mark III is a little bit more feasible for us. I mean, heck, Mark IVs are going for what I saw right hand drive the other day online for like $68,000. I mean, let's see, they stopped making the Mark IV in 97, 98, something like that.
Well, technically, the last one was built at 2002. Somewhere.
So they're almost 30 years old. Yeah, like almost 30 years old. And they're still $60,000, $70,000. Heck, there's some rare ones out there that'll go for upwards of $100,000. Seen was it a rare blue one went for like $110,000 at like the Barrick auction or something.
Yeah.
Where Mark III is more fiscally sound, I guess you could say. It's a little bit more in our pocketbook. Like you can buy a clean one that's already got a Jay-Z swap in it, or have some stuff done for like 1920. For some of us that are a little bit more broke, that go with like the 7M, you could get them as close as like 10, 11. You know, just depends on what's done to it, how much work is done to it, whether it's stock, whether it's a 7M, whether it's a GTE, which means turbo, or a GE, which is the non-turbo version. You can get them for pretty cheap. And I mean, the Mark III is the first year that they separated the Celica from the Supra. Before you had a Celica Supra. And then in 86, halfway through, they separated it and made the Celica one car, made the Supra the other. And yeah, I mean, the rest is history. I mean, they brought back the Supra with the BMW, what is it, the B58?
B58. I mean, they said it was a collab, but I mean, we've seen those videos, 95% all BMW. I think the only thing that's Toyota is the badges. But yeah.
It's still a nice car, though. I'm not going to dog on it because, I mean, me and the wife, we rented one when we were in Vegas. And believe it or not, like it's got good power. I really enjoyed driving it, and I mean, yeah, I had the automatic, but I mean, it has the paddle shift.
Even though people don't like it, it's pushing above 300 horsepower, which is like kind of fast. Like if you haven't gotten on one or filled the turbo, I mean, you gotta try it. Like before you talk about it,
Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we make fun of it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Toyota Supra. I mean, we gotta love it regardless. I mean, it's the ugly cousin. You could put it that way.
The redheaded stepchild. Yeah. Sorry, Jared. But no, I'm kidding.
This past Sunday that I went to that Super Sunday, there were some pretty good build ones. I like when they were built like Tamatax, when they're all
Yeah.
square body kit on it. I'm like, I like that. There's people that actually know how to build them correctly, and then there's people that just want to leave in stock, which is nice. So, but for me, I just like the body kits and big wings. That's on them.
Yeah, I could tell. No, I mean when I left the SoCal meet, remember the two-toned one? I don't know. I don't have the Instagram for them or whatever. They had it had the like the black that faded into the white. It was one of the first cars there. One of the Mark Vs.
Yeah, yeah.
I found out later that I think it was a female that was driving it.
Yep.
And she got in behind me on the freeway. And maybe if my car was running right, I could have gave her a run for her money. but I downshifted and pulled on her at first. And then, yeah, she just went around me like I was sitting still. Mind you, though, my turbo was not completely hooked up. We found out later that the intercooler piping from the intake to the intercooler was actually separated. So I wasn't boosting at full capacity. And
I mean, I think the other thing is that like your car needs a little bit more work because we don't even know how the RPMs are at, and
we got no gauges.
we have no gauges. So usually when I was driving it, when I test drove it and everything, took it for the first time, I believe I was undershifting. So when I was coming back, I was actually, I wouldn't say I was redlining it, but it felt better on.
They got a higher RPM.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is that you can't really hear the RPMs. It's not like the natural aspirants like my car where I actually hear the red light going.
I don't like I like your car, but I like driving your car. That passenger seat sucks. I feel like I'm.
Yeah, so my car is still stock, and I'm kind of small compared to him. So on my car, I mean, it's suitable for me, but not for him.
Yeah, no. We'll let your husky little guy keep riding passenger seat in that one. But I mean, they're nice cars. The A90 is a really nice car. I mean, you could lower the seat down. I mean, I still kind of hit my head on the roof when I'm getting into it. But I mean, I just got to duck down a little bit, and it's not too bad. They are two-seaters. They're nice. They are quick, man. Like, I mean, like we have the stock one, and they're quick. To the point where my wife wants one. Like, she wants one, and I'm like, I don't make enough money for that. But we're gonna try and get some bills paid down, and I'm gonna actually try and make it happen. But I actually took her today and had her drive the FRS around the. She didn't really she got into second gear like one time, but I was trying to teach her how to drive a stick today. But no, so I mean, it just was like, it was kind of funny. We met in Vegas. We didn't really talk much at first.
On the first year.
Yeah.
And then on the second, well, between the first to the second, we actually bumped in some of the meets when you used to go. So I was like, oh, I remember that car. Oh, I remember him. I was like, but yeah, I mean, it was crazy because one time we were just talking about it, and I was like, hey, you know, I used to live like right in the corner. He was like, no way. I was like, yeah, I mean, he was telling me, oh, you never saw my car? I was like, honestly, since I zoomed like through his street always, I never really put attention to it. I was just like, I was just trying to get home or everything. I never really put attention to my surroundings. But yeah, it was crazy because we were probably neighbors for probably more than 4 or 5 years without even knowing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew you were there. I didn't know that it was you. And I was like, how did you not see my car? The whole time I would work on it, I would turn around right in front of your house. Like, but yeah, neither one of us. neither one of us actually went up to the other one and was like, hey, you know, you got
You
a
have a
Supra.
Supra. I have a Supra.
You know? And then I think it wasn't I think it was 2021. Like I think we walked. I went walking on refills, which if for you guys that don't know about refills, I think me and Jared has talked about it before. It was when we go to Supras in Vegas
And just get drunk.
all of us get together and we walk from the Excalibur Casino Hotel and stuff to take a picture on the wall at Caesar's Palace. And in between, we get really, really drunk. Most of us get the big frozen drinks and stuff. And when someone runs out, we yell, refills. And that's how it became refills. And a lot of fun. A lot of people end up getting lost, fall off. Some of us don't make it. I don't make it anymore. I think I made it like...
All right, 2020.
2016, I didn't go. 2017, I made it. 2018, I made it. 2019, I made it. 2020, I didn't even go. That was the year that I met my wife. I actually met my wife at Supras in Vegas. Her cousin brought her out with her cousin was dating one of my buddies, and that's how we met.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, so we were always cool and we talked and stuff. And then like my wife didn't go on refills with me. What was it? I think it was 21 or 22.
Yeah,
and Cruz was like a
22.
good guy, and he just sat out there with her while they waited for us to come back. Had some drinks and stuff, and they sat there and chatted. And like, then we found out like, oh shoot, we still live like literally like close.
Yeah.
And so we started almost every Tuesday coming over, working on my car, working on his car, having little bonfire things, roasting hot dogs, and getting carnitas and all kinds of different stuff. And it just so happened that he hit me up. He's like, hey man, I'm part of Inland Supras. I was like, oh man, that page has been down for a while. Like, we haven't really done much with it. And he's like, do you know who runs it? I was like, yeah. I was like, Miguel, Miguel Acosta. But he moved to Texas. So we actually got him on the phone, said, hey, you know what? You're not running the page no more.
I mean, you're not in Cali no more. I mean, can you, I don't know, like, let us
kind of
manage
take
it.
over, yeah. And he sent me all the stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff was on files from, if you know anything about computers, if it's on an old file, you just...
Yeah, you need somebody that actually...
Yeah, you need someone that could either do it or just start over from new. And so we kind of had to start over for new. And...
I mean, it's going along. I mean, since we've taken it, it has grown a lot. We've been putting a lot of content out. We try to post, like, in case we go to somewhere, we post it so anybody who wants to join, they could go to the meet. Along the way, we made it's coming up already. Again, birthday this Sunday, I was lucky enough that Josh actually went with me to go look for Supras on the Hot Wheels. It was the first time he was able to do it, since you can see in back of him, he has a bunch of Hot Wheels Supras, and it was funny because we were barely walking, and one of the guys recognized, and they're like, "Oh, it's Inland Supras." I was like, "Yep, that's us."
Yeah, I want us to kind of like find a place where we could do a meet, but I mean, by where we live and stuff, it's a little hard. Cops have been kind of, they haven't been too happy about it. I mean, the other day I saw looked like a little impromptu meet down by Ross and stuff down on Riverside Avenue, and the cops literally waited at the driveways for the cars to pull out, and were just hitting them with every ticket they could hit them with, and I was just like, that sucks. So it's been kind of rough for us to put on our own meet, but I mean, The SoCal guys have been kind enough to, accept us and let us go out there with them and stuff. And, Eddie and all of them out there, they've been kind of cool. So we've been going out to Downey and been chilling with them and doing their meets. And then, of course, we wear our swag, but I mean, well, at least I do.
Yeah, somehow we got lost somewhere. But we're working on bringing out the merch, bringing out the decals. It's just a slow process since we're beginning again from the bottom up. So I mean, it takes time. It's not. Most of the people think it's like, oh, it's you have everything there, but no, it's more like, okay, how can we do this? We have no funds. Well, we could do this or we could do that. I mean, we break it down little by little, taking it like slowly, but at the same time, we want to do a lot. But like we've been talking for probably about a year, making the meets, but we haven't been able to find a place to do it.
Yeah, that's been the hardest part for us. It's like back when Miguel was running it, we had the Hooters out in Moreno Valley that we could go to. Well, now I thought the Hooters closed out there. I would have to look, but they're not really letting us do it anymore. So trying to find maybe someone that owns a shop around here that might want to let us, invade their parking lot, something. It's been kind of hard for us to get the meets going, especially considering I'm at work all the time, and I work a swing shift, so I'm at work when everybody's at home, so it kind of sucks. And then, but we are going to get one coming pretty soon. We just gotta, like I said, if any of you out there know of a place that might let us, invade their parking lot, we're a good group. We're not going to be doing burnouts or donuts or none of that crap. And I mean, we'll even keep people off their two-step so it doesn't sound like gunshots, because of course we're inland Supras, so we're in the inland empire, which is the ghetto,
in the ghetto, in the mighty. Yeah.
But I mean, it's again, like if any of you guys know of a place, hit us up. You can hit us up on the Inland Supras page on Instagram. We're gonna kind of post this video to that Instagram. Well, at least a little tidbit of it, so some of our followers can come check out the podcast, and subscribe and like, please. We need all the support we can get. It does cost money to do these. I mean, cameras and basically subscriptions to editing places and platforms and stuff like that, and then being able to get any kind of swag going, it costs money. So we can use all the subscribers and likes that we can possibly get. Come follow us at Inland Supras. We greatly appreciate it, and we're going to be bringing more. I'll be bringing more content. Hopefully Jared will be back next week. Again, we have to work. It's just one of those things. It happens. Yeah. He got called in today. He expected to be off today and be here. He had a full topic that he wanted to talk on, and kind of went out the window when work was like, hey man, we need you. You got to come in. And he's like, work is what actually pays our bills. We do this for fun. We enjoy it. We talk about Supras. I brought Cruz in today just to, have a little bit of conversation, talk about Inland Supras and everything that we do. And we just enjoy doing this. I do it every other week. I always try to at least have something come in. If I get this day off every other week, Jared, he works his butt off. He's got a really good job, and he basically runs a whole entire store. So he's like a manager guy. Like I'm not going to say what he really does, but no, I'm kidding.
It's a high-paying job.
Yeah, he makes good money, and that's what pays for the 240 he's building. I mean, you guys heard a little bit about what his Frankenstein last week or 2 weeks ago on our second episode. So work is what pays our bills, so we have to do that. I would have loved to have him on here with Cruz and stuff, and all of us get to talking. I mean, he's a little bit better at this than I am. Again, this is my first podcast. It's the first time I'm doing it. I'm a little rookie. I'm a little rusty.
I mean, you used to do it before, correct?
No, little videos. Just little videos, and I sucked at them. Like you can, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you see when I was actually skinny. That was like 120 pounds ago. But we just we bring our content. It's mostly about Supras. Again, that's what we love. I have a Mark III. Cruz here has a Mark III. If you see it, it's dark blue. Got a huge wing. You can't miss it. Got some mismatched rims right now because he likes to play and broke his 2 front rims. So if anybody knows a place that can fix rims.
It was actually the rear. Like I told the people that don't believe me, my car has enough torque to break subframes, divs, axles, and now wheels too.
Hey, at least you could be in my boat where I ain't got no power steering. I'm getting these big old muscles right here just because I ain't got no power steering. I'm like, damn. That's why a bunch of my coworkers, buddies of mine at work and stuff, they actually are like, hey, when are you going to bring your Supra? I'm like, when I get some power steering.
Yeah, I think we're already on the 4th pump. We tried almost everything. So the only thing we have not changed is the power lines.
We're going to go through. We changed one hose. It keeps collapsing. The only thing I can think of is that for some reason, air is getting sucked in from somewhere else. So we're going to go through, we're going to change all the lines. I mean, that's all we can do. At one point in time, we're going to, Jared's actually going to be making me some A&N lines for it. That way I'll have real good high pressure lines and stuff. It's going to cost me a tad bit of money, but I mean, 4 pumps, rebuilt rack, have done everything I possibly could think of. And
yeah, because, power steering is all that you need on those Mark IIIs because they're heavy. Yeah, like if you've ever driven a Mark III, you know how heavy they are.
And then after that, we'll work on the gauges. I got it clustered thanks to the guys up in Fresno, Jason and Jeff, man. The Supra Street. Go visit their page. They got like a Supra graveyard in their backyard, dude. Like.
Yeah.
They're one of the first people. If I need parts, I'm like, hey Jeff, bro,
you have it. Part.
And then my other guy too, that's local that I go through is MK3 is life. He does it pretty much for a living. He makes money off of it. I mean, and he's
legit.
He's a good guy.
He's a businessman. Like if you need something. Like, why are you gonna bullshit? Oh, lower the price. You already know that our parts are gonna be expensive, and they're gonna be hard to find. So, I mean, I know it's the supply and demand. People sometimes talk about him like, oh, he's bad.
No, man, he's cool.
He's cool. Like, I mean, I have no bills. I mean, if I need something, I need it right away. I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna be bullshitting like, oh. I could find it. Like, if you could find it somewhere else, why go with him?
Here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you right now. That dude is MK3 is life. That guy, man. He literally can beat you to a junkyard. I live in Rialto, and I watched every day for this Mark III to drop in the pick apart, the LKQ. Waited. The day it dropped, my wife worked for LKQ, and he still beat me. Like, I rolled up, and he was like, "What's up, Josh?" like as he's taking stuff, I'm like, damn. But I mean, again, go check these guys out. If you need parts for any kind of MK3 Supra, hit up MK3 is life. He pretty much will have almost whatever you need. Like I said, he'll beat you to a junkyard.
Both of your parts, though.
So, but I mean, and he again, like you said, like the only other place to get kind of good parts or even rebuilt parts that you're going to need is Drift Motion. Aaron and Odom over there, they're good guys. Met them my first year of Supras in Vegas, and like Aaron's like, I think Aaron, I don't know if Aaron's younger or older than me, but I mean, when it comes to my Supra, he's kind of like one of the guys that I can just be like, hey Aaron, like I'm having this problem and I'm having this problem. What could I do to fix it? And he gives you good advice. I mean, he's not like one of those, he owns Drift Motion. But he's not like one of those stuck up shop owners like just bring it to me, I'll get it done. No, he'll tell you what to do, and then he'll tell you what parts you need. And he's not like, if you can't afford to go through him to buy brand new parts, like you can go through MK3's Life, get the used ones or whatever. And but again, bread, like it costs money.
Yeah, I mean, the Mark III or whatever Supra is not for poor people, to be honest, because some of the parts that we have are very expensive, and some are kind of hard to find. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people say it's a budget car, but I mean,
no, it's not a budget car at all.
It's not a budget car. Like, sure, it's not as famous as the Mark IV, but I mean, it's still a car that has nice followers, basically. So,
but again, too, like you really can't even go to Toyota for our parts. I mean, my homie Mo works parts for Toyota. Some parts you can get, but not really.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you could just go to your Toyota dealer and be like, "Hey, I need parts for this." Most of our parts that we get for, especially a Mark III, are rebuilt, are remanned. Like my power steering pumps. They're all been rebuilt from a stock power steering pump. So it happens where you have to go through 2 or 3 or 4 different power steering pumps just because they're rebuilt. So not always are you going to get a good one. Again, so I mean, you have options where you can get parts, but most of the time you're going to have to get them like secondhand. You're going to have to go through like MK3's Life or,
I mean, if you want to get tax, you could go to eBay, which is way more expensive than the local guys.
You said that, my wallet said, ow.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, hit us up on Inland Supras. We can get you to where you need to go. You need parts for your Supra, hit us up. We'll send you a link to the guys we get our parts from.
Yeah.
Most of us in the Supra community, we treat each other like we're family, and if you're part of this community, you pretty much know, especially if you're in Southern California, Drift Motion, MK3's Life, the guys Super Street, Eddie and everybody from SoCal Supras and everything. Like you've heard of them. You've been around to one of their meets. Even like going up with Super Street, Jeff and Jason going to what was it, Pismo?
Yeah,
the Pismo meet.
Yeah, talking about that. It should be coming up anytime soon. They haven't said when, but it's being planned out right now. So that's one of the events that I'm waiting for. Because that canyon run all the way up there, it's a pretty nice little run. Nice views, nice curves. It's just a
nice ocean view to the left.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a great experience for those that haven't gone. I recommend. I mean, if you can't go because you're super down, I mean, there's a couple of guys that don't mind going with the passengers since carpool is always better. When we hit traffic.
My wife doesn't ride in the Supra with me anymore. That's a story for later. But she follows me up. Like she's our follow truck. She keeps our jacks and everything in the back of her Tacoma, and she follows us up. So I mean, I always could take a passenger with me. Sometimes we'll take, like lately, her son has actually been coming with us to Vegas trying to. I think her daughter might come this year.
Okay, yeah. No, usually, sorry for interruption, but usually I like taking somebody with me, not because of the carpool, but more of them videotaping or getting content. Like basically, since I'm driving, I kind of tell them like, oh, take a picture like this or take a picture like that, and yeah, usually that's why I like going with a second person just to get that footage of roller cars. I mean, the only bad thing about it is that my car doesn't come out. But I mean, other than that, I mean, we have some nice rollers of other cars that actually go with us. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of fun going to these meets and stuff. And I mean, even if you don't have a Supra, come out, check out the cars. You know, show us your support. You know, like me and Jared said last episode about, you know, you don't need a Supra to go to Supras in Vegas. Even there's a lot of people that just, you know, come over
Just
like to
spectate.
come check out the cars, and they end up just coming in and like partying with us. And you know, we walk the strip together. They go out to the show and shine. You
Yeah.
know, and we're just one big, huge, happy family. But again, you know, like I said, it's we need your guys' support so we can kind of keep doing this stuff. You know, and so come out, support SoCal Supra, support Inland Supras. You know, support Supras in Vegas. You know, support all these guys that are out here trying to help our community. We need it. So give us a subscribe, a like. You know, the 2J podcast. I'm going to be coming every other Tuesday. I think next week I might do a live video from the SoCal meet. I'm going to try and get that handled. It depends on my work because technically I have to work that Tuesday. But I'm going to see if I can get it off and get out there with Eddie and everybody, you know, maybe do some interviews with them and stuff. And, you know, I do plan on getting Eddie over here on the podcast and doing it with me. But I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. I don't want to go too long. Last week we went pretty long. So thank you, Cruz, for coming out. I appreciate it. You know,
Appreciate your
Give me
invitation.
someone to talk to and, you know, about touching base with the Inland Supras and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for the Inland Supras, there's still a lot of content we're gonna bring out. There's gonna be a collab with at least 8 to 10 people, but I'm not gonna say what it is. But
Yeah.
it's gonna involve a lot of people in it. So stay tuned for that.
All right, you guys have a good night. If you like the video, go ahead and subscribe and like. I appreciate it. Everybody have a good night, man. We will talk at you guys 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.